much going on. We'll be like, I guess I'll like talk to you about like whatever I think of as we see things and as we explore different parts of the game. But the lore of this game is rich. There is so much stuff. The setting is the single coolest setting of any Elder Scrolls game, like bar none. Yeah, like of course this is like a matter of opinion, but you can take your opinion and you can have a look at it. And if it's not, Morrowind is absolutely the coolest of all the Elder Scrolls games. That is perfectly okay, but know that I don't share it with you. Like that is this setting is so cool. So we see him down there. He is presently in the little lake there, the little puddle, and now he's left and sneaking back to where he initially was. And it's because he's been hiding his stuff down there. And let's go down and steal it from him. We'll also steal this traveling lantern. Because we can. And we'll steal all these things. Because we can. The Wraith's Wedding Dowry. And there we go. Unarmored skill has increased by 1. That's the one I was remembering. This is the story of... Is it long? It's not that long. I almost want to read it to you. Because I seem to remember this is pretty funny. But let's not. Let's keep moving at least here in the beginning. We can chill down and like read some stuff later. But that is the story of an orc marrying an imperial. And I think, yeah, so like her tribe steals the wedding presents because they don't agree with her marrying him. So she goes to, is it her tribe or is it her bandit crew? Like some of her friends, I think, like steal the wedding present. And so she goes and beats them up. That's that story. You'll note, by the way, that while we're running, now we're running a bit slower because we have more stuff. We run a bit slower than we're used to, and as we run, our endurance drops. Now, endurance is actually more of a factor in this game than you would think, but it makes sense when you think about it. If your endurance is high, you will hit more often. You will
something, friend?
Than you will if your endurance is low. If your endurance is low and you're fatigued, like if it's below 50% or something like that, way fewer of your hits are gonna like land. Way fewer of your strikes are gonna land. By the same token, you will be shittier at making deals and talking to people if you're fatigued, because if we, like, right now our fatigue is not dropping very quickly because we have a lot of it due to our high endurance, but if, let's imagine our endurance was very low, and we were like, okay, hey, you there, I just fucking... Okay, I need to tell you about something. It's very important that you... Okay, just take a... My side's hurt. I want to buy your stuff. Can I buy your stuff, please? Like, that's... We're not in a good spot to deal with this guy, and... Because of that, then we'll, like get shittier deals and have a harder time convincing people to like us more. Whereas if we're not topped up on endurance, it's way easier.
Ah, hello. Did you want something?
Yes, I did. I'd like to talk to you about the murder of this dude. I heard you had been asking around about his murder. I'm glad to see this matter is brought to its completion. Here's your reward, Tamriel. Good to see that you're still a citizen who understands their loyalty to the Emperor. We'll see about that later on, because the... Yeah, I'll actually address that in a moment. So we got more gold! Hooray! Yes, we are rich. Actually, we are pretty rich already. We have 1,112 gold. That's pretty loaded out the door. So, about loyalty to the Emperor. Vvardenfell Island and Morrowind Province, the home of the Dark Elves. It's a province under the rulership of the Emperor, and that's why there's an Imperial presence here. That's why the guards are, inside Anine here, are, like, Imperial Legionnaires. But, let's talk to you about a little advice. and he advises us to go and talk to the lady who runs the bus, the so-called Strider. Tell her that he sent us. Okay, we will.
I'm listening.
So the island is basically divided. The Dunmer are extremely proud traditionalists. They're very faithful people, and
Speak freely, friend.
they very faithful in the sense that they have their own faith that they observe. They don't follow the doctrine of the Imperial faith. The Imperial faith is the 9 divines, which is like their 9 gods. The Dunmer follow the Tribunal, and their religious organization is called the Temple. The Tribunal are 3 living gods, and they exist. They are alive, and they are in the game. I think one of them is actually dead. I think one of them is like dying now. Spoilers. But yeah, they follow the three gods of the Tribunal, who are 3 Dunmer who have achieved godhood. And the story and the culture very much like involves them to such an extent that like basically anything in like on this island and in this game to a greater or lesser extent like touches on like them and the relationship that we will have with their religion and their culture as part of the story. So a lot of stuff going on there. But yeah, so because they have like they're very proud, they're very traditional, they have their own faith going on, a very rich culture. They're basically assholes. Like many of the Dunmer are like very unpleasant. Their culture is like very hard to swallow if we like based on the like modern Western value system. Like for example, there's a group of people in this world, like on this island, who are completely legally like supported by, justified by the lawful practices of this world, murdering people. And like just not soldiers, right? They're not like wartime stuff. They are a guild essentially of people who murder civilians. So basically this is and this is like if a certain civilian has done something like has offended the wrong people, has obstructed the powers that be, has shown disrespect or practiced sacrilege against the values of the island. There is a guild of people called the Morak Tongue, who can receive a like you can contact them and get a legal writ to track down and execute someone for their wrongdoings, and they will just straight up do that. It doesn't matter who you are. They'll just like come to your house and they'll murder you straight up, and no one will care, like because you have a piece of paper that says this is illegal and justified by all the lords of the realm. So this dude just had to die. That is why I like gutted him in full view of everyone on this public street, and no one does anything about it. It's not like this weak-ass Dark Brotherhood. We strike from the shadows and we're all mysterious, all praise the Dark Mother. Nope, none of that. It's just straight up cold-ass badasses. Let's go and talk to Riskar about what we found in... Wait, we didn't do that, did we? Did I? I forgot to do that. Yeah, I did. This is what happens when my mind goes a-sailing with all the stuff I would like to talk to you about in this game. Like, I would like to tell you everything and all things about it. And when I do so, I stop being able to multitask. So, this is where he hid his stuff, in a hollow tree stump. So, a bunch of gold, a better lockpick than what we have, and his ring, that we are now keeping forever. So, we have a healing item. Our first healing item is a ring. Continue to just pick stuff off the ground, because we are a muddy person. What's up, dude? There we go. You found his hiding place. That is great. Tell you what, I'll give you 100 gold, and you can keep anything else you found in there. Thanks for your help. So, he took 300, We got 100. We could have just not handed the quest in.
Welcome.
You're welcome, dude. We'll talk to the other people later. Not all of them have quests or anything interesting to say for that matter, but some of them do. Let's sell all this stuff. Let's sell the Flynn because it's valuable. I'll sell the Grief. We'll keep the Matse. We'll keep 1 bottle of Matse. Maste, not Matse. Maste. We'll sell the Dance and Fire because we've already gotten the bonus from it. We'll sell this stuff. Raid's Wedding Dowry. Tax records. And the reason we're keeping these is because you might have been able to tell this already by like just looking as we were walking around outside. It gets kind of dark at night, so it can, like, especially this graphics overhaul that I'm using makes night more realistic. So we'll be bringing like torches or lamps outside when we have to go places where we keep our gold. Thank you. Where we don't have to. When we are outside of cities and so on, we're on the road and in dungeons. We want some lights. So until we start being want for carrying capacity, we'll just keep a bunch of these. Actually, there is more we can pick up over here, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
So there's like little treasure troves hidden around Silanine that the wary observer can find. And I seem to recall one of them is over here. You saw me pick that thing out of a stump earlier. There's one more here. Yeah. A bit of gold. 25 gold and a silver cup. And more mushrooms. Oh, mushrooms. Okay, and even more mushrooms. So mushrooms are a thing on this island. It's not happy coincidence that we're picking up mushrooms. Later on, we will see like towering mega flora mushrooms, because the landscape of this island is super interesting and not just like generic fantasy medieval malarkey place. Oh. What's that? Who's coming? Okay. Let's get the bound dagger out. Ow. Die, mud crab. You have been... Take a mud nap. I'm sorry. I suck. Alright. We got it. He got hit for 1 point of damage. But all the same, we can use our ring to heal 1 to 5 points of damage, so... There we go. Up top. And magic items, like the ring, that's just spent 4 charges, that recharges over time. So... They're not permanently spent. Scrolls are, potions are, but enchanted items with a charge get their charge back. So, another thing we want to do, just because we can, is we want to tippy-toe in here, and we'll talk to the lady who runs the lighthouse. We'll talk to her about the murder of Proteus Vitellius. I can't believe he's gone. And if we give her the ring... Oh, you found the ring I gave him. Thank you so much. It's good to have something to remember him by, though I'll never see him again. Here, take this. He usually traveled with a couple when he was out doing his job, but he didn't this last time, if only he had. And we got some healing potions. That's delightful. Now we'll take out a knife and we'll murder her.
There is no escape.
And the spell ran out. Whoops! Don't hit me! I bruise easily. There we go. Better. 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 Ow. There we are. So, why did we kill her? It's not just that we're going murder hobo, because, yeah, I mean, we could. That could be our argument. So that's cool. But it's because basically now that means that we have a lighthouse with dispose of a body. We don't need naked dark elves littering the floor. But let's get this torch. So now we have the house from before to sleep in, and we have this place as a temporary storage should we want to. It's not that we necessarily will need it, it's just that it's nice to have, and there are really no consequences to doing that, except for, you know, like, is this what your character would do? And yes, it very much is for our character. We will be doing lots of good things as our character of Tamriel, the Dark Elf adventurer. But we will also be doing a lot of hurtful, dreadful bastardry. And yeah, it's just how we roll. A blue light lantern. Let's get rid of this. Do we have the capacity to unlock this, I wonder? Nah, it's too complex. What if we use the journeyman's pick? It's still too complex. Okay. We could use one of our scrolls of unhinging. There we go. Not really worth it at all, but it's fine. There's another place where we will be using that scroll. We'll actually be going there now, I think. We'll just get rid of this stuff that we have on us at the tradesman. And then we'll go and we'll break into somewhere. Or maybe we won't, because it's morning. I don't know that we can do this now. Oh, let's go and check. Like, what's the worst? The worst thing that can happen is we get caught. We'll just save before. And save now, and if we get caught, then we won't bother. But we'll do it later. So we can break in here. The census warehouse. Crime has been reported. Okay, delightful. Never mind that. No one saw that. So we'll sell all this stuff, and then we'll wait until nightfall, and we'll look at getting that door open. So there's a bunch of stuff in that warehouse that we can sell. There's some armor in there that we may want to wear, and we may not want to. Let's take our pants off, take our trousers and our shirt off. We're just wearing a robe now. We like a bit of airflow. You know. It tickles so delightfully. Yeah, let's take all these corpse things. We'll keep the restore health potions. We'll keep all the alchemical ingredients. And sell all of this useless garbage.
Oh, greetings. How do you do?
Fine, thanks. Sure. Let's see. Do we want a ranged attack? I don't feel like we have the magicka to really throw that around. Absorb fatigue is super good, but it's also pretty complicated. And as soon as it costs a fortune. We'll take spark, just so we have something in case we meet someone who is resistant to frost. So, now what? What's the next thing we want to do? We could go and deal with the smugglers in that cave that was mentioned. Let's see if you... Latest rumors. There's been trouble at Fort Frostmoth. Never heard of it? It's on an island called Solstheim, near north of Vvardenfell. Yeah, Solstheim, the same Solstheim from Skyrim, I believe. I believe Solstheim is in that game too. Yeah, it's a frozen island up to the north. Sounds awful to me. If you're looking to get there, you might check for transportation in Cool.
You have my attention.
Okay, little advice. You look like you could take care of yourself, then why don't you do something about those smugglers in Adamasar's cave? It's right over there near the Silstrider port. These guards, these guards, look at them, just strutting around. Someone must have paid them to ignore the smuggling going on here. And really that's one of the cruxes of this thing is, right, like there's, as I mentioned, the Dunmer, the locals are not super jazzed about the Empire, generally speaking.
You want something?
I said, so the locals are not, generally speaking, super jazzed about the Empire, and the local Dunmer are, generally speaking, not super jazzed about anyone else. This is a broad strokes generalization. It is not always the case, but there are entire factions of people who would, like, murder everyone in their sleep if they were so inclined. Like, if the time was ripe, they would violently oust any outsider from their beloved Morrowind. So, this is Adamasar's. Silstrider's over there. Let's go and have a look at the Silstrider, actually. I promised I would mention them. That is also what has been making that sound in the background all this time. This is the Silstrider. It's a giant bug.
Where would you like to go?
Giant bug on long-ass legs, standing here being lobotomized. It is. This is how buses work in Morrowind. They capture these things, they carve open their shells, and then the pilots manipulate the nervous systems of the Silstrider, and that basically takes us across this world way faster than we would on our mere spindly little legs. All right, let's go and deal with these smuggling types. Let's equip our Ring of Healing and our Bound Dagger. Actually, we'll go equip our Bound Dagger immediately to some quick shortcut keys here. Let's get Frostbite in there. We'll take some healing. We'll take our Ring of Healing too. There we go. Alright. Alright. So, anything here? Yeah. We got shrooms. This lady is hostile. Once she sees us, she will come for us. Yep, there it is. Down she goes. As I said, this is a pretty powerful dagger. And as of now, we will be a bit selective about what we pick up. So, this is okay. This is barely okay, but we'll take it. Yeah. Wooden bucket? No. No, none of this. There's some dudes down here. There's a spellcaster. That's that dude. And then there's a lady with, I believe, throwing stars? Yeah. We just need to... Ugh. Ah, damn it. What did he hit us with? Weakness to disease. Ow. Just drain this ring. Alright. That's gonna be sufficient for now. That hurt. The last thing he hit us with, whatever that was. Rope, no. Boots, no. 8 for 10, never mind. Still keep the chitin dagger. And then... yeah, there she is. Ah! We can dodge ranged attacks in this game if we're quick enough. Good. So remember when we killed that the tax evader murderer person, and I said dark elves can use their powers to cast Sanctuary on themselves. And that goes for all Dark Elves in this game. So basically, anytime we run across a Dunmer, there is a risk that they will make themselves essentially immune to our melee attacks, or well, any weapon attack for about a minute. It's something I've modded into the game because it makes the game a bit harder and more enjoyable for me. Skooma. Very valuable. Also illegal. This is a narcotic you're familiar with from the other games. Having this in our inventory will mean that no, like, proper law-abiding tradesman will deal with us while we have it. But we can just basically, like, throw it on the floor of their shop and be like, it's gone now, it's not in our inventory, trade with me. An expensive teal amulet. Get a torch. Moon sugar. This is what you refine skooma from. I'll take all of this, actually. Some cash money. More moon sugar. More stuff. And you can keep that. A steel dagger. Weighs 3, worth 20. Will take. Thank you. Shine. Yeah, that's all good. Mostly good. Tilvani Bugmusk. Nice. That is a kick to the personality, I believe. That boosts our personality significantly if we use that. So that's good for, like, doing big trades and so on. But it is also worth a good deal of money, so... we'll take all of it. What was that scroll we just picked up? Oh, it was Unduzi's Unhinging. We're back up to 2. Nice. Another Unduzi's Unhinging. And a Chitin Tower Shield. Which is not as valuable as we would ideally like. This, same story, not particularly valuable. When we're getting out of here, if we still have the carrying capacity to carry that, we'll take it. If not, then we'll leave it behind. Might show you something, actually. So let's just heal up. There we go. So now we're essentially out of mana, which is bad. I think we can rest in here. Yeah, we can. Let's actually just do so, whatever. Nothing lost. So, let's equip a torch, just to deal with the darkness. So it's got a bit of light now, just a bit. So, if we go swimming, with any light source in hand, it farts on us. And now it's gone. We didn't unequip it, it's gone. So, basically, don't be an idiot, don't bring light sources into water. They will be extinguished and useless. Cutlass, some gold, a basket, no, but the fishing pole I will take, and we will take some bone meal. And a breath of air. There we go. So there is... yeah, and I know, right, like, it's brighter being underwater than it is being over water. What? But it's just the game being nice to us, being like, okay, you can see underwater, because reasons. Is to not make it completely unplayable to get into the water, because as we just said, you can't bring a light source down here, so you would need to use spells, and if you're not playing a spellcaster, then suddenly you can't be underwater. It's, yeah, it's just for accessibility of the game. Grab some bloat spores, and, oh, nice! So, you might be thinking, like, why do I sound surprised? Haven't I played this game before? And yeah, I have, but the stuff that is in the chests is random, basically. Like, not all chests are random. Like, some things are set, but there's a bunch of containers. Most containers in this game have their stuff randomly assigned within, like, a certain category of objects. But you can find extremely valuable things in just random containers. So there's always a little bit of, like... it's like that little bit of surprise if you find something really nice, even though you've opened this box 1,000 times in 1,000 other different games. still have some carrying capacity, so let's keep exploring this cave. The slave key has been used. More water. It's fine. There's some like luminescence going on in here for some reason. It's probably like local algae. So there are entire dungeons in this game that we basically cannot reasonably enter or deal with if we don't have water breathing as a spell or a potion or something. And like to this game's credit, and a fun thing about this game, a thing I enjoy a lot, is that like magic is kind of ubiquitous in a sense. Like there is a lot of places you can get potions and scrolls and like just magic swag, and some of it is extremely expensive and some of it is not, and it kind of creates this and of course we can enchant, we can like use alchemy to make potions ourselves, and it just like creates this like the sense that we have access to a bunch of tools that we can use to really meaningfully affect like how we experience the game and how easy or hard something is. You see how little life Rat is actually losing? It's because we really actually... So in truth, we suck at fighting, even though we've been doing decent damage. The only reason we've been doing decent damage is because we've been using that magic dagger that I get with the down dagger spell. Whereas if we stab something with an actual weapon made of steel, our ineptitude really shines through. So yeah, our character isn't like an utter garbo at fighting, but we have some spells to compensate, so... I really don't, like, I mentioned this earlier, but I really don't hold that to be a negative of the game. That if your character is shit at fighting, then he's shit at fighting, right? It doesn't matter. I don't feel entitled to hit something because my cursor is on them if my character is bad at what he's doing. Right? This is a role-playing game first and an action role-playing game second. The first-person thing is a medium, not an extension of what must be the, like, how the gameplay must function. No, nothing down here. Okay, cool. So, you notice we got a ring. We got a Thief's Ring. We can equip that too. Fortifies agility, fortifies speed, fortifies personality. It's basically like a quintessential thief item, which is pretty awesome. We can basically, every time we go and deal with someone, we can pop a charge of this. It'll up our personality by 5, and that'll maybe give us a, like, just the space to get like those few extra coins worth of profit. And we're back here, in the beginning, where we entered. So now we just need to go up here. It's the last place we need to go. And lo and behold, slaves that we have the key to free. Now, though one might be tempted, we could totally leave them here, but unfortunately we can't like resell them or something like that. There is not an option to be like a complete douche nozzle in this sense. Like, I mean, we can say whatever we want, but the game does not support us reselling these guys. Though we could just leave them here forever. So it's not like we're want for options. It's just that the one thing you can really do with slaves is free them. And yeah, we do have some carrying capacity left over. Let's go down and get that shield and that piece of armor. noticed that I just jumped all my endurance away. If I try to hit something now, it won't go well. Even if we use the super awesome dagger, we're just gonna flat out miss all the time because we are too wasted to do anything. Also, having a conversation right now is inane because we might, like, we'll wait until our endurance is up and then we'll sell all this stuff. It also seems like we're approaching evening. Yeah, 7 PM.
This is a wondrous encounter. Welcome.
It'll be dark out soon, and then we can see about unlocking that door back there and steal some stuff. And then, once we've stolen that stuff, we're basically good to go. There's still, like, people we could talk to and, like, places to break into inside Aneen, but we don't need to. Better to get going and, like, look around the landscape for a bit. This is beautiful. This game was pretty gorgeous when it came out. It has not aged well in terms of looks. Although it still is very atmospheric. There's a lot of, like, mist going on. It's basically used as a tool to, like, limit how far you can see so the game doesn't have to render a bunch of stuff. But it also, like, gives a good sense of, like, atmosphere. In this case, however, where we have these mods, we can see way further, but we have still retained, like, the kind of misty vibe to the place. And we get beautiful stuff like this. A gorgeous night sky, for that matter. The night sky has not changed significantly. That was always gorgeous.
An honor, to be sure.
Alright, okay, so let's try and barter. He won't barter with us, by the way. Yeah. You'll have to get rid of that moon sugar if you want any of my services. Don't want any trouble. Sure. We'll just take our illegal narcotics and we will throw them on your table, like on your floor. Like, it's just literally there, we're standing in it. Now we deal. Because now it's, strictly speaking, not illegal. Sell all these things, because we don't want any of them. The expensive teal amulet might be a good object to enchant later, but let's just get rid of it for now. We'll find more. Get rid of the Mastay too. We have a bottle of Sujuma, which is, yeah, I think like plus 40 strength or something like that. So restore health. Rising Force potion. Rising Force is levitation, so having a potion of this is awesome. We'll keep that for potentially to use later. Actually, what am I doing? I just said we would be using that ring, didn't I? Let's do that. So now our attributes have been fortified. We have the thief ring going on. We have the Lady's Favor and Lady's Grace, and we have extra personality. So now we sell all this stuff. Okay. We'll keep the ring. Keep these potions, we'll sell the Buck Musk. Sell the Soul Gem because we don't have any soul trapping yet. That's fine. Okay, good. So, let's get our drugs. At this point,
What do you want?
yeah, we could still talk to some people and so on, but maybe we've done enough here. We have a bunch of money, we have a couple of magic items, we have a direction we need to go. We need to go to Balmora and see Kaya's Casades. We could see about talking to some of these people, I guess. My cousin claimed he saw a city in the water near Narmok. He's a drunkard though, and he spends too much time in the sun. Amusing, again, if we go to Narmok, we will find aforementioned city in the water. And again, this you'll note, like, there is not a journal entry here, right? We don't get a journal entry about, like, there might be a city in the water. I have added a marker to your map. Nope, none of that. It's just we go there. If we remember to go there, we'll find it. If we stumble across it and remember this conversation, we'll have a little "oh" moment. You bid a green, Outlander. Might as well wear a sign. New in town. Word of advice: buy a little goodwill. Lose a few drakes, gain a friend. Folks will loosen up if you spread a little of the Emperor's gold around. Yep. If someone attacks you first, you have the right to defend yourself. If someone doesn't, you're gonna break the law if you attack them. Okay. Yeah, nothing interesting here. Bill. Lighthouse. That's it. The Siltstrider services go to Vivek, Balmora, Nisis, and Suran. So we'll be taking the Siltstrider to Balmora. We could walk. That would take us past an imperial city called Pelagriad, something like that. But we'll get there later on, and we don't need to go there now. So we'll just take the Siltstrider directly to Balmora once we finished everything here.
Where did I put that?
Yeah, where did you put that?
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
Chill your shit. I'm just leaving.
I'm listening.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I know it, like... It looks like a couple watching the sunset. Aww. It's nice. Alright, so it's getting late, slowly but surely. We're gonna break in there, we're gonna save the game, we're gonna scum the shit out of it. We're gonna make sure we break in there without being detected. Let's get our unhinging scrolls out. And we will be... There we go, and no one's any the wiser. So now that we've unlocked this, going through it is not a problem. People see us go through it, it's no problem because the door is like, it's not locked. This guy doesn't care because the door's not locked. So yeah, these are basically like, you know, like limitations of the time and so on. It's the game, like some pittances of like few weaknesses of the game are these, but it's so very easy to like ignore because it's essentially like doesn't matter. Alright. So, worth 70, weighs 5. Yes, please. Yeah, it's still worth. This is also definitely... is it worth? I think it's just barely worth. Bunch of moon sugar in here. Yeah, I remember this place is like filled with drugs. Which in itself has some like weird implications, right? This is like an imperial like import warehouse. Why is there a bunch of narcotics in here? And like, you know, it depends on how you see it. I choose to like, when I see this, I think this is like an opium wars thing, right? Like this is smuggling narcotics into the province to weaken the locals. Yeah. We keep finding unhinging scrolls. That's good. The game is agreeing with our course, and our present direction has been approved by the game. Just keep breaking into things and taking stuff that doesn't belong to us. More skooma. So you might be thinking, if you like haven't played any of these games, why am I picking up drugs that I can't sell? The simple answer is I can sell them. I could also use them for that matter, but I can sell them. I just need to find some traders who don't care that they're on the wrong side of the law. Which... I don't know that this is racist, but it's mostly Khajiit cat people tend to not really give a damn what they buy and sell. They're fine with whatever. Steel shields. This is worth. Don't think that's worth. Take all of this. Just need to be mindful of this guy. Whew, that was close. Yeah, you go on patrol. You do you. Carry on. Not worth. Not worth. That's worth. These weigh half a kilo each. Not half a kilo necessarily. Half a thing. Half a weight. Alright, we're basically stocked full now. To see if there's anything else we can lift while we're here. More moon sugar. This is worth, but we can't really carry it, so we could come back for it. This is also worth. These are probably worth. Imperial steel tends to be... These are pretty decent pieces of armor. Yeah. Alright, let's go and sell everything that's not drugs. And then we might... Do we come back for the rest of it? I don't know that we do. I don't think that I care enough to come back for it.
Yes.
Sup, dude? We'll get another magic item from that dude, by the way.
Go ahead.
The guy who told us to go and to tell the Silt Strider lady that he had sent us. Flexing his influence.
Greetings. How do you do? May we talk?
Sure. Get rid of all of this Scarpo. I forgot to use the ring again. This time we won't bother, so whatever. Yeah, remember to use the ring. You can't afford this. Just sell that flat value then.
There's someone watching me. I can tell.
Well, let's go and talk to the Silt Strider operator. Chauffeur, pilot,
Yes.
whatever she's called.
Speak freely, friend.
Why walk when you can ride?
Darvaim Chleran. Okay. So let's see, what are you? What's your background? You're a caravaner. Okay, so they're Silt Strider caravanners. Cool. Yeah, this dude sent us. Oh yes, he steers business my way, and I do him a little favor now and then. Poor fellow. I don't think he's happy here in Morrowind. Journal entry. Darvaim Chleran mentioned that she didn't think Vordonius Nusius was happy here. So we can go and ask him if he is happy here. Why don't we go and do that? There he is. Excuse me.
Speak freely, friend.
Will do. Are you happy here? Tell me about yourself. Not happy here? In fact, no, I'm not. If I had 100 drakes, I'd be on the next boat to Narcissus. I came here to make my fortune, and all I've got is this cursed ring. Say, would you give me 100 drakes for it? The ring itself is worth more than that, but the enchantment is cursed, and no one will buy it from me. It has a nifty little enchantment that helps you run faster. Problem is, it sucks the blood right out of you every time you use it. Please, you'll be doing me a real favor. Sure. Here's 100 gold for your ring. Thank you, you're a lifesaver. I'll grab the next boat out of here. Thanks again. I hope your luck here is better than mine was. Sure, dude. Be cool. So, another ring. This time we have a Fortify Athletics by 5 points, and we deal 10 damage to ourselves in the process. So, I mean, we could try it. Let's just try it out. Just to show you. So, now we're running this fast. And now... we're running a bit faster.
Think it'll rain?
And we dealt ourselves 10 damage. Which we can heal away with this ring. There we go. How long is that enchantment? It's for a minute. Okay, cool.
Why walk when you can ride?
Right, let's get out of here. Let's go to Balmora.
We make a special trip just for you. Say low price.
So, this is the city of Balmora. It's split down the middle by the Odai River. Let's have a look at the map, actually, so you can get an appreciation of where we are and how big Morrowind is. The game Morrowind, like the setting we're walking around in here, is significantly larger than both Oblivion and Skyrim was. Let's see here. So, let's have the world map. So, this is Cydanine. This is all of the area we were just in. And this is the rest of the world. Now, pay attention to, like... Do you remember I said something about having the entire Sacred East? Yeah, I do. So, in the actual game, in the core vanilla Morrowind, the entire island here and all these little, like, islands, smaller islands, of Vvardenfell is the space that we move around in. That's where the game is, that's what exists in the game. Then in the Blood Moon expansion, we got the island of Solstheim added, and in the Tribunal expansion, a little city that didn't exist on the map, so to speak. It's just a place you can teleport to, like a giant room, but it's a city, which is somewhere down here, in the lore of things. But in the Tamriel Rebuilt mod, they created all of the Sacred East of the Morrowind province, and they are going to, like, beyond this. They've not yet finished. They still have made, like, I think the landscape of the rest of the Morrowind province, which, like, stretches around here and goes up here and ends up here, and then it covers up like a spot of land that goes down here. So that's how large the province actually is. And then down to the south, I think it goes into Elsevier. I don't remember exactly where it goes. The Black Marsh. Which is the Argonian homeland. But what's up here is we have they have the landscape of that finished in the mod, but they don't have like cities finished. They don't have NPCs placed. That's at least how I remember it. I might be wrong about that, but you can find out more yourself if you want to. Go and have a look for yourself. It's an astoundingly, like, well constructed and thoroughly enjoyable mod pack. So, Balmora. If we had walked, we would have walked from Cydanine around here, up here. We would have found the town of Pelagiad somewhere here. And then we would have continued up through this foyer. And then exited out here, and we would have arrived at Balmora. But we took this hill strider, so whatever. We'll find Caius Crusades. Let's look at our instructions. Terrell, you've been given these directions and a package of documents. Do not show them to anyone. Do not attempt to read the documents in the package. The package has been sealed, and your tampering will be discovered and punished. Follow these directions. Proceed to the town of Balmora in Vvardenfell district. Report to a man named Caius Crusades. He will be your superior and patron. You will follow his orders. His residence is not known, but ask at the corner club called South Wall. people there will know where to find Kaya's Crusades. When you report to Kaya's Crusades, deliver the package of documents to him, and wait for further orders. Remember, you owe your life and freedom to the Emperor. Serve him well, and you will be rewarded. Betray him, and you will suffer the fate of all traitors. I have the honor to prepare this at the direction of His Most Sovereign Majesty, the Emperor Uriel Septim. Glabro Billinius. Glabro Billinius. Glabrio Billinius. Personal Secretary to the Emperor. Okay. I just realized that I totally... There was a thing I now I regret having not having shown it to you. There's a document in Ariel's trade house. The trade house inside Anin. That is like written by the local whatever, like the local lords of this place of I think it's the Duke or something of Morrowind. And by comparison, that document is so thick with like ye olde legalese speak. It is so it's so funny to read because it's just don't believe how silly that letter is. But it's also like a pretty cool piece to get you like invested in the setting. So let's talk to someone about this South Wall thing. The South Wall Corner Club is over there, but let's imagine we didn't know that. It's a working class corner club in Balmora, east of Odai, on the south end of Labor Street, owned by Bakola Kloskius. So on the east end of the Odai. So east. We can look at the minimap down there. This is west, that is east. And it's south. So south on Labor Street. Well, this is probably not Labor Street then, because that right there is not the South Wall Corner Club. But this, however, this is Labor Street. And that is the South Wall Corner Club.